We're ready to go, even though I feel 5:59. All right, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, November 1st, 2021. I'm going to call the Prescott Planning Commission meeting to order. Take roll call. Steve?
Here.
Josh?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Rob? Here. Connie?
Here.
Lois?
Here.
And then Todd's here. And the administrator's here. That's all. Next item on the agenda, approval of minutes of October 4th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes October 4th, 2021.
Motion made, second, approve October 4th, 2021 meeting minutes. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the Thome property concept plan review. Who is here that would like to present that?
I'll turn it over to Ben Thone. He's here to discuss, they're proposing on his little over 3 to 4 acre site off of 10 to do some storage units. So he's bringing a concept unit plan before Planning Commission to have a discussion and get your feedback. So I'll turn it over to Ben or.
I mean, I got Todd here too from the forum.
Step up here and you gotta state your name and who you are and get on TV so your mom can see you and you can smile at her.
You have the concept that you want to?
Yep, they're all.
Yep, we got it.
All in the packet.
Did you guys all?
Yep, we got
I
one.
picked it off the phone too. Very preliminary,
Name?
Ben Thone,
Thank you.
address?
That's right.
Okay. Looking to do storage on this site. I really don't have much more to add. I guess we've owned the site for 20 years. We felt like this was the highest and best use, time and condition, so that's why we're proposing a storage facility.
All right, any questions?
Yeah, I mean, Todd's my engineer, but
You wanna do the nuts and bolts part, or do you wanna wait and see what questions we have? Go ahead, give us a little quick presentation.
Really abridged version.
Yeah, the way the site was set up,
Todd who?
Todd Olin. I'm with
Olin.
Landform Professional Services. I'm at 105 South 5th in Minneapolis. The way the site was set up is that we have a combination of climate control building where there's main entrances. Once you're in, then you go around. You've seen those before. And then what we try to do is position those on the exterior sites of the building so that the view from Lynn and Orrin are looking at the climate control, which are dressed up architectural features. And then on the interior, we have mini storage, which is more your standard, what you see with the mini storage and whatnot. But for the most part, we tried to position these so that any view from between this and the landscaping that we're going to put on will be, the interior mini storage will be blocked from view with the nicer architecture, either that, the dollar store, and then the climate control on the north. We're trying to split the number of units equally between climate and mini storage. That's still the case, Ben?
yeah, I studied.
So yeah, we're waiting on the actual market study on that to determine the final count. That was my formal presentation.
All right, thank you, young man.
Thank you.
Commission members, any questions, any thoughts?
I've got a couple questions.
Go ahead, Steve.
The access point, is there 3 of them that I see? 2 in the front on Orange Street and 1 on Lynn Street, is that right?
Actually, we originally had 2 coming in off Orrin, and we'd like to actually eliminate those and come in just on Lynn.
Okay.
Not gonna
Makes sense.
No, we're gonna have 2 accesses, probably fire rate, for fire
Oh.
purposes,
So-
probably my biggest
One.
thought.
Okay.
That's my just thought. We're gonna probably, fire purposes, you can't have just 1 in, they get trapped in there, we at least want 2 in and out. Just FYI. Go ahead, Steve, what else do you have?
Well, I was curious about parking with the inside storage, with the 2 entrances off of Orange Street. I was wondering how this would work, that when you go into a building, you need to park on the outside. You got parking way up front here. Would there be parking back by that inside climate controlled building?
Yeah, I believe we need parking by both buildings.
Yeah, okay.
It's a little lower than what we usually, it's a unique use in our parking. We've done a number of these where we actually look at the actual use and how many people are parking there at a given time. Because it's open, you can get access in there 24/7. But yes.
Sure, okay.
Any other questions?
We use sewer and water.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
is it gonna be all online rental?
Yeah, well, we're gonna have The actual facility, the office will have a
Should
bath.
be up there. Just so people can hear you.
But
Basically for the public.
the rental facility, the rental of the office will be water.
Sure.
We'll have a bathroom in there, so yeah.
And fire protection.
But-
Yeah, and then, yeah.
And Rob, you had a question?
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of runoff that goes down that way, and other folks that have, you know, they've talked about the pond in the back, and, you know, the water runs down Orange Road and, you know, cuts across that lot. So you got that,
Yeah, so these buildings actually have a real fine roofing pitch system that will allow that rain to run off the correct ways, and we'll have a gutter system. We could possibly even put barrels under there to go more green, and there's yes, these we're allocating for that, but all these buildings will have the correct pitches.
What Rob is saying is the water that comes off Warren Road naturally flows down through there. So we have to figure out how to get the water from, that naturally flows down through there to your pond, and then of course
Okay.
continue on down the
Yeah,
line.
and
So that would be Todd's probably
Yep.
concern, that you have to figure out how to get that water down through there. Okay. Is that it, Rob?
yeah, thank
Didn't
you.
we,
Oh,
didn't we, a couple years ago, didn't we put a little extra pavement down there to try to stop that a little bit,
to rechannel it into there, you mean?
or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
we did
Remember
something.
Cause remember how we used to pool in the road?
Yep, so we pulled it different, and then we talked about getting a piping from this site to the next pond down.
Yeah, back across, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd have to go
Yeah.
look at what that was.
It actually went down between
Two houses.
The
two
two houses.
houses on the next
Yeah.
street over,
Yep,
down to
into the
the
storm
next.
sewer.
That's, what, James Street, was that, where it ran through the property and,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
How long ago was that about?
Oh, a couple of years, there was a,
2 or 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years
yeah,
ago,
they were gonna put
put
a
Hotel
care
or something,
facility
a care facility, and then,
in there,
Yeah.
and they were looking at that, that's what they were talking about, is catching the storm drain, run it down in between those two houses and then down to the next street, pick up the storm drain down there.
And that runs through this site, or?
From the backside,
right, it does, it goes from Oren Road, drains into that site,
Okay.
comes through there, and then it goes, I think it goes through the, between the houses right now. But it depends, you put more hard surface, more water, I mean, you're gonna retain most of it, but if it takes off, we wanted to make sure. One point, we talked about having a storm sewer outlet to get out to like Lynn Street, I can't remember what that was. We can try to dig up something.
Yeah. and-
Cedar Court might have something on that was originally done.
Okay.
So that's something, so just something to be concerned about, thanks. Connie?
Is the lot gonna be completely paved then?
correct.
And my question is, does our ordinance allow it to be completely paved?
Based on the proper infiltration and stormwater runoff and the proper ponding, it would be allowed.
So they have to design it to
That-
hold, 50-year rain or whatever.
We'd
just
have our
FYI.
city engineer review that once, the engineer plans are put together.
Alright. Other questions?
Well, lighting, as far as bothering the neighbors and how much
Lighting and
lighting are
security,
gonna be in.
24/7 security, but lighting will be mainly illuminated on Orin with glass front, with shining down on landscape. Other than that, you're gonna
We
have your,
just, yeah, we don't wanna flood it to the neighbors, to your
yeah,
side.
no, that, I mean,
Light pollution.
So one of the requirements that we're gonna put in there is
Yeah.
have a 2 to 3 foot berm along the residential property with landscaping above to break it up and to drown out lighting as it goes from the site over to the.
That'd be good. So landscaping, and,
Same thing on Highway 10, right?
there, well, they'll have landscaping, they're probably not burn, but landscaping.
The
yeah.
lighting not
Yep.
affecting the highway.
Yep. Other thoughts or questions?
Then interior lighting is wall packs on the building.
Yeah.
that's what, yeah.
Yeah,
So some of these probably have to go to the state for approval. I know the climate control one is large enough for certain. My question is, just looking at two, and I like to, what my fire department says, if they gotta go in there and fight a fire, they gotta be able to turn those trucks around. You know, get in there, and so a big pumper truck, some of those, I don't know if they could get a turn to get even to the climate control. So that's something to think about. I think we talk to the fire chief and find out what they need for clearances for them trucks. So, maybe you're gonna have to eliminate one building just so at least they can do a U-turn in there when they go to fight, and they might want a hydrant somewhere in here too. Or you guys may want a hydrant in there.
yeah, we figured that,
Okay, just so you know, I'm just looking at
yeah.
and then the other thing, and I'm gonna, cause I didn't look it up, sorry, but, Matt, is there fire separation, setbacks from property line, there's really almost nothing?
The setbacks from property line are, it's 40 feet in the rear. The front property would be Orange Street, so it's 40 feet in the rear since there's a residential property there. 25 feet from the front, and then side lots are 10 feet on each side.
Okay, so, and I don't know if they meet the 10, it looks awful close. And then the reason I bring that up, of course, being a building inspector, fire separation for these type of buildings, there may be a requirement for fire separation. And 10 feet is normally what it is, right, Todd? 10 feet between commercial buildings is minimum. And I know you gotta get cars to drive around there, and I just think the fire truck, so that's why I say two entrances, so maybe you have a second entrance, maybe the truck can just loop through. And that's what I'd like to have the fire chief, I'd like to talk to Tom and say, hey, what issues, if it just loops through and goes out to Orange, and you gotta get rid of the one building, maybe that's all we need, and maybe going around the buildings is fine.
Okay.
Because they got hoses, I think it's usually 300 feet between hydrants, because that's kind of how much hose they have on the truck. So, just a thought. Any else, so I had setbacks, I had lot coverage, and you say it can be paved as long as they control the runoff.
Yep.
Okay, and then access points, I still say it's 2, well, the fire department just check on their turnaround and or at least getting a road back out.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, fire separation, I have that, so. Any other questions or thoughts? Does everybody like the concept?
You said the fencing gonna be around it?
Fencing around the whole, everything.
I think it looks good.
So, and will the fence just go to the corners on the front, it won't be in front of the building?
Correct, they're,
Yeah.
the front's gonna have that, I think you guys have that photo in your
Is it,
packet.
yeah, so they look like that?
That's what I'm gonna try to shoot for,
Right,
right?
it's not, we don't want the tin look.
But now that, no, we're gonna, but now with the turnaround, so now we're gonna have to reconfigure, but.
Yeah, and maybe just short, just enough for them to get a driveway
Yeah.
or a lane through there. And maybe, and again, maybe Todd can even get Tom Little's phone number, and Tom probably don't know right off the top of his head, but they can just find out, hey, what do we need for that truck to come through there?
Yeah, if they give us just a truck style, we can actually put a truck turning template
So maybe,
on the side.
Matt, if you wanna check with Tom and find out what pumper they would need, just so they can get through there. I don't want them trapped in there and all of a sudden the second building goes on fire, they're in the middle of it all. I want them to get in and out. But concept wise, everybody likes it, the front looks good, it's not a full building, I appreciate that.
Yep.
And, Matt, anything else you can think of?
I guess the only other question I have is, do you have a general idea of when you'd want to come to full design and site plan review and
It's up to
go
Todd,
through
how
that?
fast we can.
Is this, you're gonna wanna break ground in a minute?
Well, we gotta move some dirt, we gotta get rid of that, but, no, I'll start,
You could do a site plan before,
yeah,
in the winter or before winter.
Like spring start.
yeah, spring, early.
Yeah, so we probably put applications together by the end of the year.
Okay.
Or January, February.
Okay.
Approvals and the title.
That's fine.
That's not.
And we'll chat, let's chat out, yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody likes
I'll send you an
concept?
email with,
Okay.
kind of a,
Alright,
So that, storm has to be addressed before they can go on.
that's something we'll have our city engineer look at to make sure that what calcs Todd submit to us
And then,
meets our requirement for runoff.
and snow, where are they gonna push it? I'm assuming towards the pond. but-
yeah, and that's why we put the buildings like they are, but so you
Yep.
can push the plows right through there and go right to the pond.
Yep. All right, I don't really have any other questions. We talked, you're gonna show us parking more in detail. You don't need a ton, but you'll need some. And parking, fire separation, 2 access points, I'm guessing, and unless you get the fire chief to say otherwise, I doubt it. Setbacks, you're, 40, 10, and 25, you said? Lot coverage is fine as long as they can do the runoff, and I would check on a hydrant. Well, that's one of the things to check with, Tom on, or the hydrants, and they might be on each end and you're good to go. I think there might be one on Warren Road and there might be one on Lynn, so then they'd be fine. All right, anything else? If not, gentlemen, thank you for stopping.
Thank you, appreciate your guys'
We'll
time.
wait to see the next plans coming in.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is Henry Street. Body Studio Concept Plan Review.
So, apparently, from what I understand, this has come before planning commissioning a couple of times already. This is Courtney Franklin, she's proposing doing a yoga studio. Previously, this was proposed north of 61 in the north Acres, is that the business park?
Right, that little sliver, you know, on the north, part
Yeah.
of North Acres on the right hand
The
side.
outlet.
That they were gonna, but it was like too close or like a weird corner.
Right, it was a goofy shape, yep.
So that ended up falling through, so now she's looking at the Henry Street. This lot here is actually across the street from where the proposed Quick Trip is gonna be going in next summer. So what she's proposing is a 2,108 square foot building. The packet that's in front of you, that was handed out, there was some changes or I guess missed pages when we scanned in the document. So your packet that was actually went to you had a couple missed pages, because if you go to the next page of the pack in front of you, you can see that there's a site layout in terms of breaking down where the studio space is versus retail. There's a couple offices, entryway, mechanical, bathroom, things like that. There's a rendering of what they, just kind of what the concept view of what they'd like the exterior of the building to look like. And then there's just some site layouts in terms of elevations for where the windows will be and things like that. Overall, the site would require one stall per 150 square feet of floor area. All the parkings have to be set back from 5 feet from all the lot lines unless it's next to a residential district, which on the west, or the east side, I should say, is a residential district, so they have to be 25 feet from that for all parking. And then they'll have to conform to the additional standards of what we just talked about, 25 feet front line. The building has to be set back. They're using Campbell Street as the front lot line here. So 25 feet from that front lot line, 40 feet from that residential lot line on the east side, and then 10 feet from their side lot line. Maximum building height, 35 feet. The way that they're actually aligning the entrance too, it does align so that it's exactly across the street from the Quick Trip entrance as well, so that they're kind of aligning that way. Courtney is asking to move forward to go to full engineering, to pay the civil engineer as well as get financing. That planning commission, if they're willing to actually vote on this, in terms of just having that discussion, it's not gonna hold weight. There'd still be a full site plan review with full civil engineering in terms of stormwater ponding. External lighting would be looked at, landscaping, all of that would still come back before the planning commission to vote on at a subsequent meeting. But in order for her to lock up financing, apparently the bank would like to see it voted on in planning commission minutes.
Makes sense.
Anybody have any questions, any thoughts? I think it looks good. I mean, it's using the lot, it's right across from the post
Post
office.
office.
What is that lot, what is that area zoned at?
Commercial.
Commercial?
That's the zone
C2, yep.
commercial. Yeah, it's a decent looking building, what I can
I
tell.
think it looks really nice.
Plus, when you're perfect, that you can drive right across the Quick Trip after the workout.
Right.
Get a candy bar and a roller dog or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
All right, if everybody likes it, I don't think we'll make a motion because it's a concept plan review, or did you want something?
Well, that's what the bank would like to see, a motion and.
So I'd entertain a motion to recommend a council approve the concept plan as submitted in our packet.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made second to approve the concept plan for Bodie Studios. Any other discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That'll go to council. We'll just let them kind of bless it a little bit too.
Okay.
That way, you know what I mean? I'll just bring it up in the minutes. Cause yeah.
Okay.
Any other business? Anybody else have anything? Or Matt, do you have anything? Todd, anything? Other business for this committee right now?
I think only other thing to bring up next meeting, the Two Rivers deck site plan review, trying to work on bringing that forward for our next meeting.
Be like December 4th or something, I don't know.
Well, isn't it gonna be late, cause isn't December starting like a?
You're right, it's December 6th. So FYI. All right, anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made, second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.